Hello everyone, welcome live to 3YTV, tonight's broadcast of the Taz Racing Customs Superspeedway Series. I'm Peter Short, and joining me in the booth here tonight for this race at the iRacing Superspeedway. I think the first race we've ever broadcast at this racetrack here on 3YTV. I'm Peter Short, and joining me alongside is Carlos Acosta. And Carlos, this is going to be a really interesting race here tonight around a 3-mile superspeedway. No restrictor plates. It's going to be pretty wild.
I'm so excited. I can't wait to see what these guys are going to bring in for us. I've raced at this track in our 2003, but I personally haven't participated in or even broadcasted this new one. So I am just all kinds of excited right now. It's going to be a blast. I'm trying to find my track notes. I don't have any other than wow, we're going fast. Because, Peter, how fast are these guys going?
Well, I can answer for you on the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. Colin Ullery, we were right on board with him right here. The number 62 machine, the winner from Daytona 2 weeks ago, is going 218 miles an hour, working its way through turn number 1 and 2 onto the backstretch right now. And Carlos, I think the most difficult thing for us up here in the booth here tonight is going to be trying to determine whether or not they're on the front stretch or the backstretch, because unlike Daytona, where you have that tri-oval similar to Talladega, you don't have that here at iRacing Superspeedway. It's 2 straightaways followed by 2 fairly tight corners with an insane amount of banking. As you see Ullery flash across the start-finish line right here at 234 miles an hour, Carlos.
Yeah, that is true. Do we actually have a number on the banking degree?
I'm not 100% sure. I do not remember, but if I want to say, it's about 40 degrees of banking here around this racetrack, which is an insane number. Definitely will help these drivers get through the corners here tonight. You can see some qualifying times there on the left-hand side of your screen with the number 42 of Evan Burke atop the leaderboard for right now. But as I say that, we do see Barry Knapp jump to the top of the board in the number 18 machine. So we're going to see some very fast times for a 3-mile racetrack on the same kind of lap time that you'd see at Daytona and Talladega. 45.472 right now for Colin Ullery in the number 62 as he jumps to the top of the board, Carlos.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see how these guys are going to be handling in a pack, because no restrictor plates or even tapered spacers or whatever's NASCAR is using now. So we're going to be seeing these guys go all out, but at the same time, at a certain point, there's just not going to be enough grip. So I don't know, Peter, do you think we're going to be seeing some of these guys separate like you would see at like Michigan or California?
I don't think so. I think the draft is going to be an important factor here tonight, as you're right on board with Steven Doziak in the number 55 machine. He's going to jump up to 13th on the board. And really the reason I say that, Carlos, is this track has so much banking. You can see it right there. It's insane, folks. This racetrack, of course, not a real racetrack in real life. iRacing added it. That these drivers are going to be flat out the whole way around the racetrack, regardless of what situation they might be in, whether they're in the draft or not. They're going to be pretty much flat out. So, of course, the Taz Racing Customs Superspeedway season is always about these super speedways each and every week. Daytona, Talladega, and this one right here, as you see the number 3 of Barry Knapp. Number 18 there on the scoring pylon on the left-hand side of the screen. But we're going to see a lot of the draft in play here tonight, and I'm really excited to see how that plays out, because like you mentioned and like I mentioned, we haven't been here before on 3YTV. So this is going to be the first race calling here on the channel at this track, and I'm really excited for it.
Yeah, we do have a couple people on the chat wishing their best wishes to some of these drivers, like Rich Ryder saying good luck to the 42. We also have Tana saying let's go Ben Adams and Andrew Himmelman. So apologies if I butchered your last name, Tana, and that is why I did not say your last name, Himmelman, if I said that wrong. We also got Liam Atwood saying let's go 42. So I got 2 people cheering on the 42. Tana also saying Ben is racing injured tonight. He broke his foot on Saturday. Now, y'all don't let him use it as an excuse, and we will hold him to that. All right, we're gonna, if we ever speak to Ben, he cannot say that he was slow because of his broken foot.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not all too surprised that Tana Himmelman's in the chat there talking a little bit of smack about Ben Adams. Of course, Tana Himmelman married to Ben Adams here on in the chat, so she's always rooting on Andrew and Ben, and it's great to see her in the chat again here tonight, as always, for all the NSRA action that we have here on the channel. Really awesome to see some familiar faces here on 3Wide TV. And Carlos, that's been one of the things that I have seen over the years, whether it's Nikki Worsler in the American Sim Racing Series or Tana Himmelman here in the NSRA. You know, it's great to see these familiar faces and have these people in the chat. We really do appreciate all of your support, not only for these drivers out here, but also the channel. It really is awesome as we creep ever closer to the 1,000 subscriber mark. Make sure you hit the like button on the video here tonight, as we have a 65-lap race for you on the channel here tonight on Thursday night. And big shout out to Steven Doziak as well in the number 55 machine. He was tonight's sponsor of the race, bringing you all the action here on the channel. But tell you what, the qualifying session has concluded, so we're now into the gridding portion. And going to be really interesting to see how this all shakes out. But to tell you what, Carlos, why don't we go through tonight's starting lineup?
Oh, yes, and let's go through that right away, shall we? We got Colin Ullery starting in first with Andrew Himmelman. So right off the bat, we got one of the fan favorites starting outside in second place. All right, we also have Jay Mitchell Adams in third with Chris Darling in fourth, Garrett Gleason in fifth, Barry Knapp in sixth, and I apologize if I did say that wrong. Who's this guy? Look at this young guy, Drew Eisman. I don't know who he is, but he seems like a cool dude. In seventh with Ben Adams in eighth. Philip Scott is going to be starting in ninth with Matthew Clark in 10th place, Peter. Yeah, starting on the inside of row number 6, the number 24 machine of Ben Mashburn as the field starts to roll off. And there goes Ben Mashburn. He's the first one to jump out there. Off. Yeah, you know what? He's just ready to go green. How about that? Evan Gilbert will be starting alongside him in the 12th position on row number 7. Evan Burke in the number 42 with Steven Doziak. Christopher Lawrence, the 09 machine with Brett Wilson to his outside on row number 8. Brian Bradley, Jeffrey Vickery, who was the winner last week here in the Taz Racing Customs Superspeedway Series. Nicholas Bradley, Shane Ledoux, rounding out your top 20 there, Carlos. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And rounding out the field at that.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
You know,
I don't know what you wanted me to say there. I was like, did I miscount there for a moment?
No, you didn't. We're just up here in the booth having a good time here tonight. A very jovial time here at the iRacing Superspeedway.
A little too relaxed.
Yeah, you know what? Just maybe a little bit, but hopefully everyone in the chat here is nice and relaxed here tonight. Tana Himmelman, Paul Schubert in the chat as well, saying "Bring it home," number 62. As I don't know what Ben Mashburn's doing. He's going exploring right now down on the bottom side of the racetrack. We go on board with that Sunkist number 24 machine, I should say. As I don't know, he's just going down there and trying to figure out what's down there by the wall because he might not have figured it out in practice. I don't know. But here he goes, going off into turn number 3, and it won't be all too long before we are green flag here on 3Wide TV. Tana Himmelman saying Connie Adams is Ben Adams' mom. Well, welcome to the channel. Hopefully you're enjoying.
Yes, welcome.
Hopefully you're enjoying a little bit of Super Speedway action, and the green flag will be coming out here shortly with the number 2 machine leading them down. In fact, there is that number 62 machine. Great looking paint scheme on Ullery. The winner at Daytona, last time out here on the Taz Racing Customs Super Speedway Series on the channel. Of course, we did have one race last week, but the green flag is back in the air. Can Ullery go 2 for 2 here in the series? We'll have to find out in 65 laps from now as the green flag waves. And they head off into turn number 1 for the first time. Those speeds coming up already 190 miles an hour before they go off into turn number 1, Carlos.
Wow, so fast as these guys are pretty much separated. It's not like Daytona racing in the terms of traditional pack racing, but at the same time, it's not like California racing or Michigan racing where the guys get separated almost quickly. These guys, they don't have to be right up the back bumper for another driver to get those drafting effects because, wow, 235, 240, almost going into the corner as the 3 almost smacked that wall entering the corner. It's very, very close. But yeah, Peter, some of these guys and the way they're moving around, it's so drastic compared to Talladega or Daytona. They get off the corner and it's almost like as if the car just wants to go to the bottom the bottom part of the track. And Peter, quick question: are they allowed to go below the yellow line?
I don't believe they are allowed to go below that yellow line, as you see the number 49 machine, Mitchell Adams, running that high line there coming out of turn number 2. They're not allowed to go below that yellow line, Carlos. But this racetrack, very, very wide, especially in the corners. It's one of those racetracks where when you jump out of the corner, the racetrack significantly narrows coming out of the corner just because of how wide the racetrack is. And you kind of see them all jump out of the corner. I like to liken this racetrack to Dover on steroids because of how you jump off into the corner. You really sink, especially if you're in that low line, as Ben Mashburn is right now leading the way at the front of the field, going 237 miles an hour.
So much speed these guys are carrying. Of course, that has to do with the lack of restrictor plates or anything that are slowing down these engines. Natural horsepower here. And these guys are going fast. And with the group, they're going to be reaching speeds of 200. I'm seeing 248 in some of these cases. And I don't know, Peter. I know you're saying these guys can go full throttle the whole time, but my mind's telling me no. But the physics are telling me yes. It's just, it's such a beauty this track is. Of course, if anybody messes up, it'll be the end of a bunch of drivers tonight. Or will it, Peter? Because I believe you said these guys may have a fast repair.
Yeah, they do have a fast repair tonight, and so if they do get involved in a big accident, and folks, if we see a big accident at 240 miles an hour, it will be a very big accident, going about 20% faster than what they go at Daytona. And of course, Carlos, we were down there on the beach last night in the American Sim Racing Series, and here tonight on the National Sim Racing Association Series. Great to have two of the premier series in iRacing here on 3Wide TV in 2021, as you see everyone start to scatter out. But, super speedway racing, but very different with no restrictor plates here tonight, going just that much faster. 20% faster than what we saw last night here on the channel is unbelievably impressive, as you see Andrew Himmelman in the number 24 machine with a little bit of help from behind. That, of course, being the number 47 of Christopher Darling, one of the league admins. And Carlos, you mentioned NASCAR Racing 2003 series earlier. I've been racing with the number 47 machine and the number 77.
Oh, in the 09!
The 09 machine, and somehow they save it. Well, they did save it, but there's the number... who was that? Was that the number 49 machine?
42.
That was the 42. I saw the 4, and we go around first caution flag out here tonight. We'll go back and catch a replay of that, but folks, bear with us on these caution flags because things happen at this racetrack unbelievably fast. We go on board here with the number 42, Carlos, and it all happened up in front of him.
Yeah, trying to take a look. The 09 got clipped. That wasn't his fault. And what a fantastic job he did of saving it. Unfortunately, the 3 ended up getting involved with that, as well as the 42. So it was multiple drivers getting involved in that wreck. I don't know, Peter, if we can go back to the beginning and see who it was that just clipped that 9 there. But yeah, going into the corners, what I was talking about, the car just pushed up and it got into the back of that 09. And 09 pretty much had nothing to do with it. I believe it was the 24, maybe?
I think it might have been the 24 of Ben Mashburn. Yeah, absolutely. In the 09.
Oh, I see it. I see it on my end. We're not seeing it there live right now, but on my end, the 24 just barely clipped the apron and ended up bouncing up into the 09. And then the 42 had to check up. 42 lost control and came down into the 3, and the 3 is moving like a modified right now. But it's evasive driving. I can't put the blame on the 42 or the 3 or for that at all. It's just trying to get out of the way in a situation. So a couple of close calls, and I believe also the can't see, it's a black car with a red stripe in the bottom, ended up scraping the wall of 55. But yeah, heavy damage to the 3, heavy damage to the 42. I have a feeling the 09 is going to be okay. I thought he got a lot more than what was shown, but that wasn't really too bad, as we got a bunch of drivers going down per road, including the 09. Actually, the whole field's going down per road. Only one driver stayed out, and that was Andrew Himmelman. So he's going to be leading a lap. But Peter, what are you seeing down there?
Yeah, we see the number 77 of Drew Eisenman, of course, one of the 3 wide TV family drivers as he heads back out there on the racetrack in that, well, Carlos, I would say very familiar number 77 machine from what we have seen in the past. That race car driven by another one of the 3 wide TV family drivers, Nick Phillip. Cameron Rich back in the day. Mm-hmm. Yes, that, of course, I'm sure some of you folks watching who might know Cameron Rich as Nick Phillip from back in the day, one of the Vans racing cars out there in the racetrack. I'm sure I would think only Chris
Is
Darling.
Cam not his name?
Cam is his name. But he used to race under an alias, believe it or not, back in the NASCAR Racing 2003 days. So we're really throwing it back here on 3 Wide
Dr.
TV.
Seuss, why?
You would have to ask him that.
Yeah.
I have no idea. But the day that he told me his real name was Cameron Rich, my mind was absolutely blown.
I know. You have such a good name, and you go with Nick Phillip?
Yeah, it was probably, I mean, yeah, I don't know. You could go with
All
like
right, everybody
Bob.
in the comments, let me know. Is Nick Phillip a better name than Cam Rich? Or do you guys think that Cam Rich is a better name than Nick Phillip?
I think we're gonna have to text.
yeah.
I think we're gonna have to text Cameron Rich, get him in the chat, and he's gonna have to defend himself here, folks, on the channel. But yeah, that's what he went by back in the day, Nick Phillip, and definitely now Cameron Rich goes by his real name. And I gotta say, I've met him in real life, and that number 77 out there right now, Drew Eisenman, running that scheme that we got to know very familiarly on 3 Wide TV, driven by Cameron Rich, one of our commentators here on the channel. If you've followed us for any length of time, you would know that. But up at the front, pace car lights are off, so we're about to get set to go back to green flag racing here, Carlos. Will be lap number 9 when we get that green flag, and already these laps clicking off very, very quickly, which I expect to see here tonight with the 240-mile-an-hour race cars. Great to see, unrestricted, going for broke, 3-mile racetrack. Keep that foot flat.
Say, it's 1 lap to go. We already have 2 drivers just going down Pier Road for a little top-up. We had Garrett Gleason going down about 6 seconds worth of fuel, and then Shane Ledoux, I believe, going down there for actually 2 or 3 seconds worth of fuel. So a couple drivers trying to see if maybe just getting a little bit of extra fuel, because I don't know, if we go green, Peter, how far could these guys go?
You know, that is a really good question. I'm not 100% sure of that, Carlos, because honestly, I've never run this racetrack unrestricted. So I would think they could go probably about 20 laps on a full tank of fuel if they're lucky. They do run a slightly smaller tank of fuel. We did see Chris Darling in the chat a little while ago saying, I failed pit entrance every try in practice. And folks, if you've been watching us in the National Sim Racing Association, you know that Chris Darling is not at all a stranger to missing pit road or missing his pit box. So we'll have to see how that goes if we get green flag pit stops. But speaking of green flag back in the air, and Andrew Himmelman, the only driver to not come down pit road, is currently at the front of the field in that SimShots number 4 machine, Carlos.
Yeah, Tanner. We'll save the kazoos for when he nails pit road once. Oh my goodness, who was that? That's the 10 machine. Got a little contact going to the corner. Brett Wilson ended up saving it. What a fantastic job, Peter. I'm not sure if we can queue up a replay, but that was some quick driving. Just from my provisional vision, it kind of looked like the video feed was going like in fast motion. I had to do a double take. What a fantastic save. I believe Drew Eisen. Oh, actually, I don't know if the 10 came down or Drew Eisenman went up. But what a phenomenal job by Brett Wilson. Lost a lot of positions, but he's still in the lead pack. So, Peter, no harm, no foul?
Yeah, no harm, no foul at this point. You have plenty of time to make that up. That's for sure. We're right on board with the number 10 machine right now of Brett Wilson, just outside the top 10, running right behind the sponsor of tonight's race, the number 55 there of Steven Doziak, running the Total Nonstop Racing Ford Mustang. And, of course, Total Nonstop Racing League, Carlos, we broadcast that right here on Monday nights, the Thornton Graphics Cup Series. And I'm sure a lot of people in the chat here also are in the chat for that Total Nonstop Racing League, because we have a lot of drivers that race both the National Sim Racing Association and the Total Nonstop Racing League. So we thank all of you for joining in here tonight at iRacing Superspeedway as we continue to watch this number 10 machine as he tries to claw his way back up to the front where Andrew Himmelman continues to lead.
Yeah, meanwhile, the front pack is kind of settling down a little bit. We do have two sets of drivers going almost side by side, but the top three machines are starting to pull away, and Drew Eisenman, the lead car in the outside line, is starting to think he may have to join in that bottom line. Just outside line not looking quite as formed, but wow, that 4 and the 62, they are tandem drafting right now, bumper to bumper, pushing each other in the straightaway, and I do not believe they're allowed to push in the corners. Not sure if that is correct. I may be confusing with a different league, but yeah, they backed off right before they got to the corner, but wow, they made up a lot of time with that tandem drafting, Peter. It's been a couple years since I've seen that.
And Carlos, look at that speed. 240 miles an hour, 241 miles an hour at the start-finish line for Colin Ullery. 245 going off into turn number 1. On the right-hand side of your screen, you see the number 77 Vans machine of Drew Eisenman, the man that I broadcast the Friday night SIMBOX Truck Series, working with the reigning SIMBOX Truck Series champion of the number 49 of Mitchell Adams, as they head down the backstretch using a little bit of that tandem drafting that you just mentioned, Carlos. I wasn't expecting to see that here tonight at iRacing Superspeedway, but already the 49 of Mitchell Adams and the 77 of Drew Eisenman working together, but now they break up. Here comes Chris Darling, the league administrator, trying to bump draft the number 77, but he's going to leave Drew Eisenman alone all by himself, and now the inside line a little bit better formed up. We expect to see them possibly pull away, and it looks like they're going to do so. There is the number 28, Evan Gilbert right there. Great to see Evan Gilbert there in the Subway number 28 machine running up there, and he's going to drop down there below the yellow line. And Carlos, maybe he's backing out of it. Not 100% sure what that number 28 is doing right now.
Not fully sure, but I'm not going to say it's not a bad idea. But while we go ahead and talk about what these guys are doing, Peter, why don't you go ahead and pull up the weather conditions, because it is quite hot out there tonight. Unless the track conditions have changed since I last saw. Yeah, track temp 104. We got a couple drivers slowing down. Yeah, that's a 28. Slowing down a lot. I'm not quite sure what's happening. Do you think he may have a black flag for pushing a vehicle under caution? Under the turns?
Yeah, he might have that, and hopefully it is just a drive-through penalty and not a stop and hold, as he is coming down right now, pit road speed at 65 miles an hour. You can see he was a little bit above that for just a brief period of time. Hopefully he doesn't exacerbate his problems. But back up at the front of the field, Andrew Himmelman in the number 4 machine is continuing to lead. He got the number 62 of Ullery behind him, the 77 of Drew Eisenman, and these front three have really broken away from Ben Mashburn in the number 24, who's running in third. The front three up to about a second gap over the number 24 machine, Carlos.
Yeah, if you switch to that TV2 camera, whenever these guys are exiting the corner, you get a really good example of just the sliding they do from the exit of the banking into the exit of the corner banking into the backstretch, and they slide so much. It just looks like they're all gonna wreck. It looks like one of those like NR 2003 like fan videos that people make when they set like the speeds ridiculously high, and all the AI just like hit the wall and they just slide down to the inside of the track. That's what it looks like when they're coming off of turn 2, I believe.
Yeah, this speed is ridiculous, folks. We're working lap number 15 right now, of 65 scheduled here tonight. And the 24 machine! And that's Ben Mashburn in the number 24. Is this going to bring out a caution flag? Yes, it will. And that is the Sunkist number 24 machine, the man who has the absolute worst luck here on 3-Wide TV. Let's see what happened to the 24 here of Mashburn. Oh, man, that might have been a little bit of net code. I don't know. Or
I don't think that was net code.
That was a bump gone wrong with the number 5 machine of Ben Adams. We'll get another look at that here on the channel coming out of the corner. Keep an eye on that number 24 machine. Let's see. Well, you know what? We don't have the right number here. Not sure what was up with that.
5, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get one more look. Here we go. This is definitely on board the number 24 of Mashburn. Watch the number 5 of Ben Adams right there. Just doesn't hit him square at all, and that sends the 24 of Mashburn around. Heavy contact with the inside wall, and he finally comes to a halt after doing, well, probably a 900.
Something happened. That 24 was slowing down a lot. I'm trying to look back to see if I can see why. Because, I mean, it's not that he didn't have a... Oh, yeah, he probably just didn't have the draft, and the other drivers were just going by him at Mach speed, and, well, it's kind of like in a Formula 1 race where, at the start of a Formula 1 race where all the drivers just take off from a standing start. Kind of looked like that, where maybe the 24 just didn't start at all, and one of the drivers just ran into the back of him, unfortunately. But yeah, that was very close and almost ended up being just a non-event, but the 5 just clipped the back of the 24 there, causing that 24 to spin, hit the inside wall, and continue to drop smoke all over the racetrack.
Yeah, I'm sure Ben Mashburn here, as you can see, he definitely has a blown engine. He will have to come down and use his one and only fast repair here tonight, which you really don't want to use in the first portion of the race, as we are only just now about 15 laps into tonight's Taz Racing Customs
Pit road.
195 lap race. But as you mentioned, Carlos, we're on pit road up at the front of the field.
Yes, we are. I'm seeing the whole field just going by, with the obvious exceptions of... Oh, whoa. Something just happened to the 28? He was in the grass. Oh, Peter, I don't know if we can go back. He was in the grass for a little bit. I don't know what quite happened with the 28. I cut to his camera just to check to see what the lapdown vehicles were doing, and... oh, my goodness!
Yeah, there was definitely...
What was that?
I think that was the 42 machine. It was right there of Evan Burke, who made some contact. We'll go back and see. Let's see if we can go on board with Evan Burke. Here we go. He's trying to catch up to the back of the field, and the number 28 machine starts coming down the racetrack, and Evan Burke just clipped him. And you can see that number 28 machine going woo through the grass.
Yeah, it looked like the 28 was going to go down and like merge with the other guys going into pit road, and then he saw a hot shot, I'm not sure who it was, a 42, right? A 42 just picking up a bunch of speed and just going by, and he's like, oh no, I don't want to get in his way. But unfortunately, 42 already had committed to going up, and 42 looks good. I'm not sure if he already went to a stall. No, I don't think so. He looks good. He may have net coded through that, but unfortunate additional damage to the 28 there.
And folks, if you're wondering under this caution flag whether or not the number 47 machine made it to his pit stall all right, yes, he did.
Hey!
So give the 47 machine a round of applause back home. But back live up at the front of the field, it is the number 77 machine, Drew Eisenman. 3 wide TV zone right at the front of the field. Now let's see if we can get a quick word with the number 77 machine of Drew Eisenman here on the channel, as we often do. Drew Eisenman, Peter Short here in the 3 wide TV booth. Welcome back to the booth there, bud. Leading the field right now. What are your thoughts of iRacing Superspeedway as we have one car going around in the back of the field?
Evan Burke.
It's certainly interesting. It's a totally different experience than Daytona or Talladega. The high lane is really not great, actually. It's kind of surprising. I thought it would be more viable trying to get that high lane working, but just through the corners, it's so hard to keep in line with the bottom. But it's a lot of fun. It's crazy fast. And you can overheat really quickly because you're going so fast and you're pulling so many RPMs. But it's pretty chaotic. I'm interested to see if we do a green flag pit stop. If we do, I think you're probably going to see more than one car crash coming on a pit road.
Yeah, we definitely just saw someone have an issue going probably 150, 160 miles an hour getting on the brakes with the rear brake bias that we're seeing in this brake package here tonight. But Drew, you mentioned the overheating issue. How long do you think you're able to push someone before you start to hit that the red numbers and potentially blow your motor?
I think you max, I mean, if you're like pushing and not letting off, probably 2 laps. I think you can stretch that out a little bit if you kind of cheat and you kind of, yaw out just every so often to try to get some air. Maybe stretch it to 4 or 5 laps, but I think after that you're in the danger zone.
All right. Well, Drew, we'll let you get back to it as the pace car lights are off. Best of luck there, bud.
Thank you.
All right, quick thing before we do go back to green. We have some inside knowledge from Tana Himmelman saying Ben Adams said Ben Mashburn's car shut off. So that's probably what happened when the 24 checked up. and got clipped in the back. So we're gonna go green, Peter.
Yeah, the Ford Mustang pace car right at the front of the field heads down pit road nice and smoothly. It'll be interesting to see if we continue to see that here tonight. Drew Eisenman thinks possibly a little bit different if we get green flag pit stops. But speaking of that green flag back in the air, and a great restart there by the number 4 SimShots number 4 machine of Andrew Himmelman getting back up to the front over the number 77 Fans machine. And Carlos, I'm really curious to know, I really wanted to ask Drew there under that caution flag whether or not he thinks he can scoot away from the field like we saw under that little bit of a last green flag run as the field continues to scatter out here under green flag.
You probably should have asked him that. I'm not sure why you didn't.
Time is of the essence here on the broadcasts on 3 Wide TV. You know that. You're a producer
just
yourself.
Just put out your ray gun. Just cause some of these drivers to wreck under caution so we can have an extended lap.
Well, it is one of those things here on the channel. Hopefully everyone in the chat is having a good time here as we close in on the halfway mark. Drew Eisenman in the number 77 continuing to lead. And look at the 09. Christopher L. Lawrence in that U.S. Army 09 to his outside. Drew Himmelman sticking with Drew Eisenman. A couple of Drews right down there on the inside. And there is the 5 machine of Ben Adams there getting into the top 3 for the first time here tonight.
While that was going on, the number 28 of Evan Gilbert went down pit road and is currently doing a pretty big stop right now. Actually, pardon me, he just went into a stall, so I apologize. Got that incorrect. But yeah, one driver down pit road, but everybody else appears to be running in this main group here, although it does look a little bit more tamer compared to what it was in the opening laps of the race. We're no longer seeing multiple 2-wide or even 3-wide situations, and the only 2-wide we're seeing is in the back as Eminem's machine is looking on the outside, and of course Drew Eisenman thought about joining him and blocking him, but no, just the 47 on the outside, and they're all single file again, Peter.
Well, you say that, and then all of a sudden they're not single file again. The commentator's curse is very strong here on 3 Wide TV. I'll tell you what, if we had the Force, if Star Wars was a real thing, we would have the commentator's force. That's just how it works here on 3 Wide TV. I don't know, but it works out somehow. As now we're 2x2 for the race lead. Chris Darling and Ben Adams to the high side. Drew Eisenman and Drew Himmelman to the inside groove. And here comes your reigning SIMBOX Truck Series champion, Mitchell Adams, in the number 49 machine. That blue and orange machine that you see very similar to his Friday night paint scheme, as now we go 3 wide. And Carlos, I've already seen 4 wide at times here tonight, but I always love to say 3 wide on 3 Wide TV. That is definitely my favorite saying here on the channel.
Yeah, 3 wide in this racetrack is like 2 wide at another track, and 4 wide is like 3 wide. 5 wide? That's probably still 3 wide.
Yeah, I think we can go 5 wide.
This track is wide. It's so massive.
And you know what, Carlos? Let's make that a challenge for the drivers here tonight. Hopefully these drivers are watching the broadcast right now and go, challenge accepted, to go 5 wide
go
here.
Scream at Ben. Let him know to go 5 wide.
Yeah, go 5 wide. Go 5 wide. Go 5 wide. Do it. I'm sure all the people in the chat want to see 5 wide here tonight. Logie Bear saying this track is the wide boy of iRacing tracks. Yeah, I'll tell you what, that is very true. Tana Himmelman saying too much math. You know what? I don't know. I'm an engineer, so math is my living. Logie Bear saying 6 wide. Why not? Why not, Carlos? Yeah. Let's do 6 wide.
6 wide or bust, yeah. Got your cake. Come on, let's go.
You know what? Even if it's under caution, I'll take it. Guys. I don't think we've ever seen 6 wide here on 3 Wide TV before, so we'll hang on to that. We'll figure it out. As you see the number 47 machine of Chris Darling up at the front of the field in the M&M's Toyota Camry. Colin O'Leary, the winner from Daytona, just a couple spots back. Unfortunately, we did have a couple of drivers who did not make the green flag. Jeffrey Vickery was one of those. Shane Ledoux in the number 12 machine was another one of those. He's out there on the racetrack right now. There he is. That, of course, is the threat level midnight number 12 machine. Of course, Carlos, we were out with the office puns in race number 1. So he's 7 laps down, which... and now he's in the inside wall. We just had to talk about him. That is Andrew Himmelman as well as Mitchell Adams. Caution flag out here at iRacing Superspeedway once again. Let's see if we can sort this out coming out of turn number 4, coming down, and I think the number 4 got a bad bump from the number 5, and oh man, Ben Adams in the number 5 machine also getting involved in that one there, Carlos.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. Ben Adams gave that 4 a little bit of a weird pump. As Peter, you have got to go on the onboard of the 55.
Yeah, we'll watch this one in slow motion, and then we'll jump over to the number 55 machine.
So yeah, you can see the 5 just tapped the 4 a little bit wrongly right there. Came down as perfect camera angles. You're only going to find a 3-wide TV. There we go. As go on board that 55 right there. 55 at full speed. That's how close it was. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that's worthy of seeing at full speed. Tonight's race sponsor, Steven Doziak, there in the number 55 machine, drafting with his buddy there, Garrett Gleason. We'll see all this carnage happen in front. Right there was the initial contact. And watch this number 55 machine, Days of Thunder style. Whoa, just...
Oh, man. Oh, that is the greatest save I've ever seen. As, wow, something going on with the 5? Oh, no, man, right. The 5 is just having crash damage and it's just crabbing. I thought something was up. As we got a bunch of drivers, going into pit road. Of course, we also had Steven Dosick Jr. saying, please check my onboard. Well, guess what, Steven? We checked it. And wow, what a... Oh, man, that's... Oh, I just see that replay you're showing right now. Who is that? That's the blue machine?
Yeah, that's the Maypay number 7 machine of Garrett Gleason. You see him headed down pit road right now, but up at the front of the field, Colin Ullery is already down and away. In the number 62, looks like he is going to inherit the race lead. Drew Eisenman, second car off pit road, right in front of Christopher L. Lawrence. But unfortunately for Garrett Gleason and the number 7 machine, pretty heavily damaged in the Maypay number 7 machine. And you know what, Carlos? I'm going to brag on the number 7 machine of Garrett Gleason. There he is in that Menards number 7 machine doing I don't know what right now. And, that's just how it goes here on the channel. We brag on someone, and then they're doing something that is leaving us scratching our heads. And the funny thing about G-Money, as I like to call Garrett Gleason, is I have known Garrett probably for the past 14, 15 years of my life, back to the NASCAR Racing 2003 days. Garrett Gleason was actually a designer, Carlos, for Robbie Gordon's NASCAR team. Some of the paint schemes that Garrett Gleason designed for that team got out there on the racetrack. I think the first car he ever ran, and Garrett will probably chastise me for this, but I want to say the first car he ever designed for Robbie Gordon was a scheme that ran at Bristol Motor Speedway. And I remember Garrett being unbelievably excited to see one of the paint schemes that he actually designed out there on a real-life NASCAR track. And Garrett has been around the sim racing community and the NASCAR community for many, many years, and great to see him out here tonight at the National Sim Racing Association. And really, I gotta say, Carlos, we bring a lot of different car designers to the channel each and every week. We see some fantastic designed race cars, better in my opinion than a lot of the NASCAR cars that you see on the real life track. And Garrett Gleason is one of those who was actually able to make it onto the real track. And interestingly to note, in our Monday night series, the Total Nonstop Racing League, we also have Chad Mikos. He actually designed race cars for real life NASCAR teams as well. So a couple of real life NASCAR designers here on 3Wide TV, and Garrett Gleason is one of those.
Yes, and we are getting 1 to green to go 38 laps. Let's in the chat. Let's see who what your picks are already. A couple laps in. Let's see who you guys think can possibly win tonight's race.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, right now we're really closing on the halfway mark, about 5 laps or so from now, Carlos. Drew Eisenman, Colin Ullery, both of those cars have been very, very fast tonight. The number 10 threat level Midnight Machine there of Brett Wilson, he's been very, very fast. The 09 of Christopher Lawrence has been up there. And really, we have a long way to go. It is a super speedway. Plenty of time for really anyone in the field to make their way up, assuming they still have, a car that's fully capable of running up with the pack. But with that being said, these front few drivers have looked really fast, and I wouldn't be all surprised if the front 5, one of the drivers in the front 5, walk away with the checkered flag. But green flag about to wave here at iRacing Superspeedway, and Colin Ullery gets us back to green flag, Carlos.
Can't wait to see what these guys have going 240 miles an hour for 37 more laps. I think they'll have enough fuel at this point. I don't think they have to really worry about that. But it's going to be a fantastic last couple laps that I can just see these guys just going 5 wide for the win. So hopefully Tano's out there telling Ben that he has to go 5 wide, because that is what all the fans deserve to see them do at this beautiful speedway.
Bro, if you're one of these drivers in the chat right now and you're watching us, if you don't make it 6 wide, we're going to be disappointed up here in the booth. Just flat out saying it. We're going to be disappointed if we don't see 6 wide before the checkered flag falls. As you see, Drew Eisenman trying to go 2 wide for the race lead around the outside. Drew has led a couple of laps in that number 77 machine here tonight. 3 laps to be exact. Andrew Himmelman in the number 4 has led the most laps. We saw him involved in that last caution flag in the number 4 SimShots Ford Mustang, a little bit further back in the pack, currently running in the 8th position. Hopefully he doesn't have any more damage here in the last half of the race as we close in on the halfway mark.
Yeah, almost at the halfway mark, and these guys are trying to cool down a little bit. It's a couple incidents in. These guys don't want to necessarily take themselves all out. Some of these guys already have exhausted their first fast repair, and we're at the chill part of the race that you're going to see at Super Speedway races, which could lead to some more excitement within the next couple laps. Of course, the moment one of these guys start going side by side, we're going to be seeing more of them start to push and push.
Absolutely. And Logie Bear in the chat says, I stay up to 2 a.m. local time to see my man Phil race. And Logie, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think you've mentioned in the chat before that you're from Scotland, and I'd be really curious to know where in Scotland you are from. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's Ireland, and if I am so sorry.
You have just insulted so many people.
Well, one of my best mates is from Scotland, and I'm curious to see. But
my favorite actor's from Scotland.
Oh, really? Who's that?
That's David Tennant.
Ha! Look, he said it is Scotland. I am right.
Ah, yes.
All right, where in Scotland, Logie? I'm really curious if you don't mind divulging. Is it, one of the big cities? One of my best pals is from Dundee, and I love hanging out with my friend from Dundee.
No, that's an award from The Office.
Yes, but no at the same time, as we ride on board with the number 62 of Colin Ullery there briefly. I'm really curious to know, and it's awesome to see, Carlos, that we have people from all over the globe join us here on 3 Wide TV. We've had people from Germany in the past. We've had Logie Bear here from Scotland. Perth, it's close to Dundee. Yes, it is close to Dundee. Definitely one of the places. I recently played some Microsoft Flight Simulator and flew out of Dundee, so I do know that. It's great to have that in the chat. That's really, really cool. And thank you for joining us, as always, here on the channel. I know you join us on Monday nights very often, rooting on the number 99 machine of Philip Scott. And let's check in on the number 99 of Philip Scott as well. There he is, running a little bit further back. Does have the National Ninja League on the front of that number 99 machine. And Philip Scott is one of the runners of that group of people, Carlos, the National Ninja League. And we all know National Ninja Warrior that is on NBC, and Philip Scott has been a competitor on that NBC show. Yeah, so really cool to have that number 99 machine here on the channel Monday nights, and on Friday nights and even very...
Oh, no, the 10 in the wall, 99.
And we have been on the button tonight here with these accidents. I don't know how that happens, but we seem to be watching people. We'll go on board here with the number 10 machine as he goes off into the corner, trying to get a little bit of help from the number 21 machine. But, oh, yeah, definite contact between them and heavy contact for that. Oh, and he hit his teammate there. Ooh. That was Shane Ledoux in the number 12 machine running a couple laps down and somehow, some way, Carlos, able to get things sorted out.
Yeah, with the way these guys are, with the speed these guys are carrying into the corners, I guarantee you, they're not intending to go from the high to almost near the bottom. That's just physics acting upon a vehicle like that. When you see them darting to the side from high to low and from low to high, I guarantee you they're not doing it on purpose. That's the car just doing its own thing, and if they try to correct it, they'll just end up with a wrecked vehicle. Because Peter, that's usually what happens when you try to tell a car what to do. Yeah, we also got Tana Himmelman saying we're in Tennessee. Yeah, well, Tana, these guys.
Well,
I messed up my joke.
Well. Long way from Perth, Scotland. That's for dang sure. I'll tell you that much. But you know what? I'm in Texas, the great state of Texas, and it's probably colder in Texas right now than it is in Scotland. I know the UK has had quite a bit of snow over the past day or two, but here right now, it is below freezing. And we've had a lot of ice over the past day here in Texas, where usually, I know a lot of people from around the globe, as you see the number 10 machine, I think that is peeling off of pit road, that being Brett Wilson. There he is, came down to get some of that damage repaired in the threat level midnight to Chevrolet. But it is darn cold outside. We have had ice. We had 100+ car pileup here about an hour and a half away from me today. So definitely very, very cold. The 77 machine of Drew Eisenman almost making contact, I think, with the number 21 machine right there. Of course, the number 21 is right there. Jeffrey Vickery not making the start of tonight's race, but he's finally out there 26 laps down here, Carlos.
Yeah, and Peter, it is currently almost 80 degrees where I am at right now, and it is nighttime. So if you want to send some of this snow over here, that'd be pretty cool. If not, okay, well, we got 28 laps to go. We can figure all that out later. But yeah, starting to pick up the pace a little bit as the drivers up front are currently a little relaxed, and a bigger pace is up, but they're going side by side. They're starting to feel a little bit more comfortable with each other. But of course, as soon as somebody slips, like we see a bunch of drivers start moving up, sliding up when they go into the corner, that's when we'll see mistakes start happening even more.
Yeah, definitely. As these laps wind down, Carlos, I mean, we saw it last night here on the channel in the ASRS, American Sim Racing Hacksaw PC's Premier Cup Series, where as the race wound down, we just saw the action heat up. We saw more and more cautions as the race wound down. In fact, we were caution-free for the first 88 laps at Daytona in a 250-mile race, which was so impressive. But you and I know when you come to these super speedways, as the laps wind down, action always heats up and the caution flags always start to go up. As you see, Colin O'Leary, your winner from Daytona here in the Taz Racing Customs Super Speedway Series, leading the race. And folks, make sure you check out tonight's sponsor, Taz Racing Customs. Fantastic product. If you want a custom diecast, let's say you're a big Colin O'Leary fan right up there. You want a West Virginia Mountaineers race car. Well, go check out Taz Racing Customs. They can hook you up. Let's say you're a Chris Darling fan in the number 47. You want one of his custom diecasts. Bro, they got you. Let's say you want a custom diecast of one of those NASCARs that you cannot get from one of the diecast retailers. Go check out Taz Racing Customs because, again, they got you. They are in the custom diecast game, and they always put together a quality product, as we now just have 25 laps to go. 40 laps in the books. 25 laps to go. Not 45 laps to go. Just 25 laps to go. As you're starting to see a little bit of a break in the field here. The top 8 here, Carlos, really broken away from the rest of the field.
Yeah, these guys are pulling away very, very quickly. It's almost about almost 5 seconds from 8th and 9th place. A pretty big gap. And seeing what the other guys are doing, it's a smaller group. It's only 4 vehicles, maybe a 5th one if you want to count the 10. Oh, sorry, not the 10, the 99. But the other group, yeah, they're going 2 wide and more, but there's a lot more vehicles there that are going to be just pushing more air and allowing these guys to push them further.
Yeah, that is for dang sure. We do have one car just working his way off pit road, trying to figure out who that is. Oh, that is Barry Knapp in the number 3 machine. There he is, currently being scored 2 laps down. Just now trying to work his way off pit road. And this is one of the more difficult pit roads to get off of here on 3Wide TV, because as you can see, it's so flat down there on the apron. Unlike most racetracks that have a little bit of banking on the apron, this track has literally none.
Literally no. I'm sorry, can you repeat that one more time? I'm not quite sure I heard you correctly.
Literally no banking on the apron.
Oh, yes, that makes more sense now. Yeah, I know whenever I used to play NR 2003, I would always... one of these vehicles went up pretty high, but yeah, I would always try to go to the... just the inside as far as I could. Kind of like how it is in Pocono, but obviously with the speeds you're carrying and the banking differences, you do not want to be on the apron when the corner is approaching.
Carlos, I want to know what you think I said. Or maybe I don't know I don't know. Maybe I don't want to know what you think I said. I don't know. But I do know we have 23 laps to go. It'll be 22 laps to go this time by as they go across the start-finish line, as they head down the front stretch. We're right on board with the number 19 machine of Matthew Clark right here. We haven't really talked about Matthew Clark here tonight, Bob. Or not Bob. Not Greg.
Wow.
Not anyone else but the one and only Carlos Costa.
I'm going to leave.
Yeah, get out. Get out. You're gone. You're gone.
We got Logie Bear saying NASCAR, but the apron is replaced with a black hole, which sucks the drivers out of the race. Just the drivers or the cars and everything? That's very interesting to know. And what is the what's the term? What's the term for when you actually cross into that black hole threshold?
You go into another dimension?
No. There's a term. There's an area in which you're okay, but the moment you cross it, that's when you start. Big wreck in the back.
Oh man.
09.
Well,
huge wreck.
Well, we just met that threshold. There is the 09 machine, Christopher Lawrence, who's been having a great night going here on 3Wide TV. Possibly another bump gone wrong. Let's see what happened. Oh, yeah, just got hooked right there on the front stretch and did a 900. Tony Hawk would be proud of that one, Christopher Lawrence. I know you're probably not all too excited about that, but let's go back and see this one more time from the rear cam, Carlos.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage to that vehicle. Definitely will need to use a fast repair on that, and I do believe Christopher Lawrence is driving the vehicle to pit road, so that's a very good sign. I honestly I thought that car would have been destroyed. Like he would not have been able to drive any further, but doing a good job of just nursing that car home. Hopefully he still has a fast repair, but I'm not too sure if he does. I don't know if we have a way of checking that for sure.
All right, Carlos. Is that the Event Horizon, that term?
It is the Event Horizon. That is what I was thinking.
There we go. There we go. We figured it out, folks, here on 3Wide TV. Hopefully we can be a little informative at times. I'll tell you what, Carlos. I got an aerospace engineering degree, but I didn't do all that space stuff. I wasn't interested in that space stuff. So I was interested in that air stuff. Because I found that, I don't know, I just found it more interesting. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat will be like, bro, why didn't you go space? I don't know. I just didn't find it very interesting. But whatever, it is what it is. Colin Ulery in the number 62 West Virginia Mountaineers Ford Mustang leading the field over the number 47 M&Ms. And I gotta say, I could go with some M&Ms right now. That sounds really
It's true.
tasty.
Why don't we see if we can talk to one of these guys and see how they're feeling right now? Maybe after pit stops.
I was gonna say, we could dial up the number 47 machine of Chris Darling to see if we could force him to miss his pit stall.
Do it.
because that's always fun to do. But we'll calm down, Carlos. We'll let him. He has to put all of his might, all of his brain power into hitting his pit box because we know.
Everybody, look at the 47.
Watch him, and
Oh no! Oh,
I had
play that sad trombone.
I had the kazoo ready,
Yeah, queued up.
folks.
Yeah, put down that kazoo. We don't need it anymore.
I'm gonna put down the kazoo. Now I don't have sad trombone queued up, but if there was a sad trombone, the 47 deserves it right now because everyone in the chat was hoping to see the 47 hit his pit box without having to throw it into reverse. Somehow, some way, Chris Darling still comes off pit road second, Carlos. So I guess we can't be too concerned about the 47 machine.
I'm mad. I'm disappointed. I lost a lot of money.
You know,
Right there.
he is one of the admins, so if he's disappointing us, maybe we could just end the stream, be like, folks, we're going home. That's it. Chris Darling missed his pit box again. We're going home. That's it. Race over.
Pack it up.
Pack it up. Let's go home. Pack up the truck. We'll head to the next one.
Well, let's go see if we can talk to Chris and get his point of view as to why he's just doing such a bad job in pit road today.
Well, we are hearing from the chat that Steve Doziak says he blames you for the pressure.
Sure.
Yeah, well,
Sure.
Well, you know what?
Passing the blame.
He's going to have to tell that to our face because he's up here in the booth with us. And Chris, we were watching
I
you,
had
bud.
like $500 on you making that pit stop. What happened?
Yeah, what happened, bro?
I knew about it. That's what happened. I was at the betting table.
F in the chat, folks. Make sure you smack
F in
that
the chat.
F
F in
key.
my wallet. I got no money now.
It's all your fault, guys.
Well,
I looked at my screen that's sitting here. I saw my car, and I tensed up and just rolled right through my box.
all right, close
How was I
it.
supposed to know you're bad under pressure?
You know, I'm the best there is, plain and simple, on the track, but
Not in pit road.
yeah, I don't want to talk about pit road. That was rough.
All right. Well, so far we got 18 laps to go in this race, and you're looking at yourself in second place. You're up 2 spots from where you qualified. What do you think your chances are for tonight?
Oh, man, I don't know. I'm just trying to finish a race. I've had a rough couple weeks in this series. So, I mean, if I could come out of here without negative points, that'd be great.
And how are you looking in your backup car? Is it already used, or you still have one in reserve?
I still have a fast repair, so I am good to go.
Oh, you got 18 laps. All right, that's more than enough to wreck 3 cars. So
This is true.
you probably don't want to go on with that confidence. But yeah, looking good today. You got yourself a fast hot rock, a tasty looking M&Ms, and if you want to make it up to me for losing a bunch of my money, you can go ahead and send me a couple of packages of M&Ms. Same thing for Peter. I'm sure he won't be too mad about that.
I'll take it.
Yeah. Good luck. And
wait. What's
yeah,
your least favorite kind of M&M?
what's my least favorite kind of M&M?
Yes.
The the regular probably.
You don't like? Okay, those are the ones I'm going to send you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, I know the game now. My least favorite.
Is he
are the
gone?
ar-
Is he gone? Joke's on him. That was my favorite brand. That was my favorite
I was
type.
gonna say the mint one's my favorite, so he can send me the mint one's my least favorite, so he can send me that one. We'll let him get back to it, but hopefully he sends me the mint ones because joke's on him because the mint ones are my favorite. As we're about to have green flag wave here once again at iRacing Superspeedway. We thank each and every one of you for joining us up here in the chat. Chris Darling right there in second, your Daytona winner, the number 62 of Colin O'Leary, right there up at the front of the field. But here comes Matt Larkin, the number 19. Great run from him here over the last 15-20 laps.
What a sponsor.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man, I want to know. I want to know what the deal is with that hood right there, the number 19. We don't typically run this camera when we're under green flag conditions. We usually reserve it for after the race. But I gotta say, whoever that mug is up on the front of that number 19 machine, it deserves to be seen as they drive off into turn number 3 and 4.
Yeah, they do a fantastic job for the 19, getting a lot of sponsor exposure right there. Unfortunately, he's going to get a little hung out to dry, and it's going to be the only car on the outside line, so he's not going to have any work with him as he's going to start to drop a couple spots until he eventually catches up with, I'm not sure who that is. That might be the 5, yeah, until he catches up to the 5, and of course further back, that's where these guys are starting to go side by side, and yeah, and it's Daytona racing, but like at a bigger scale. It's like you stretch an image. These guys are not like right in the back bumper. Of course, as I'm saying that, we're looking at the 47 pushing a vehicle, but these guys are kind of spread out a little bit, but it is still draft racing. So these guys, it's just the threshold is just so big in how far they can separate that they're not going to lose all that much time. But yeah, Peter, with 15 laps to go now, then yeah, these guys are going to do the best they can, as I appear to have lost my camera feed. And it's back.
It's good news.
Yeah, that is good news.
I don't want you to lose your camera feed as they're blasting around the racetrack here at 237 miles an hour here down the backstretch. Very, very impressive to see these cars running around 245 miles an hour as they head off into turn number 3 right there. It is unbelievable how fast we see here at iRacing Superspeedway that these cars are without restrictor plates here tonight on 3-wide TV. 14 laps to go. These laps are clicking by very, very quickly, especially considering this is a 3-mile racetrack.
Imagine how bad it would be if any of these guys lost the monitor right before a corner. That's just, you don't know what to do. You try to figure out where you're at based on the rumbling of their wheel, but that's such a hard thing to do, and you try to hit the wall. You try to aim for a wall or aim for the inside of the track, and you just hope you're not in the middle of everybody's way, because that is a scary feeling, and even scarier at 248 miles an hour going into the corner. And these cars are getting wiggly and side by side, wiggly while they're side by side. So that's not a good idea.
Yeah, and yeah, definitely not. Whoa, wow. Well, the 47 of Chris Darling almost getting into the side of the 09 of Christopher Lawrence, and we just saw Lawrence going for a 900 a little while ago. He's back up towards the front, up there in the 3rd position, drafting right in front of the 77 of Drew Eisenman. Is he going to drop down to the bottom side right there in front of Andrew Himmelman? He thinks better of it for right now, kind of running right there in the middle. But now Chris Darling going to drop to the inside of the 62 of Colin Ullery, but Ullery comes down to block. But here comes the 09 of Lawrence to the outside.
These guys are starting to get side-by-side for the lead more often. We're seeing 3 rows of side-by-side racing, and of course that involves our current leader, Colin Early, Drew Eisman, Chris Darden, Brett Wilson, and Andrew Himmelman, and all these guys within a second, maybe half a second of each other. Anybody who makes a mistake, these guys are all going to probably end up paying for it as the tires wear on, the laps count down, and the grip starts fading. It's we're going to see who still has the most energy, both mental and physical, with these last couple laps coming up, to not make mistakes, to make sure that they don't leave a gap as the 21 hits the 4 and they both go for a wild ride of the grass.
Yeah, no caution just yet. You see Andrew Himmelman right there, the number 21 machine, I think, spinning up the racetrack there. He is still no caution. We'll see this one right here. Finally, the caution flag waves. What happened here, Carlos? I think he just got hooked a little bit. The threat level midnight, number 21. Great job of him keeping it off the wall. Oh, he just got the 7 of Gleason there, right there at the end. That is not going to be good for all you Garrett Gleason fans back at home. We'll see if we can go on board with the number 7 machine and exactly see how this all worked out here, Carlos.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what happened here. The 24 made contact. It looks like with the 21, at least from my point of view, as oh wow, that's the backup car for that 7 machine. So his day is more than likely done, as it looks like he's done in pit road or has left the track. I'm not quite sure. But Jeffrey Vickers has taken a tow, not able to continue. Heavy damage. Trying to see what happened to the 4. I don't know if we can pull up the replay there. Let's take a look. With the 4, he ended up hitting, the inside wall like we're seeing right now. But that could have been a lot worse. And I mean, he'll probably be a little bit slow, but with the fact that they don't have a restricted engine, he may just be okay if he doesn't have a backup car. But of course, 10 laps to go, probably use it. But I don't know. I'm not quite sure. I don't know. What are you seeing? Is the damage that bad in the 4?
He definitely has a lot of left side damage there, Carlos, and I think the number 4 has already gone to a backup car once here tonight, so that might be for that car. Meanwhile, on pit road, we had a mixed strategy, interestingly enough. We had some cars coming down, including the 09 machine, but then we had some cars staying out up there at the front of the field. As I apologize for the hiccups that I have, always fun to have hiccups while commentating,
Looks like Chris Darling decided to take the safe route to avoid any more embarrassment and staying out instead of going down pit road to face his true enemy.
Not surprised. Not surprised
there. So far, staying out, Chris Darling, Drew Eisman, Ben Mashburn, Philip Scott, and Steven Dosiak Jr. Of course, we got the chat just saying no. Tana Hiddleman and Connie Adams saying no. Unfortunately, they did not like what they saw in that last caution. And we're going to have a restart with probably 8 laps to go. It's going to be very hectic. I don't see myself seeing these guys not go 2 wide or 3 wide. These guys are going to be going for everything they can. And Peter, coming to the white flag, where do you want to be?
You know what? I think with this racetrack and it not being restricted, I think I do want to be the race leader. Typically
Really?
at like Daytona and Talladega, we always say, you know what? Maybe you want to be in second. I know last night we saw one of the best finishes that we have seen on a super speedway here on 3 Wide TV ever, with Greg Evans taking home the win in the first American Sim Racing Series Hacksaw PC's Premier Cup Series race of the season by just about 1/100th of a second. He was in second place coming out of turn number 4 and was able to get to the line first. But here on an unrestricted racetrack, I think being in the lead or maybe leading the outside line as Chris Darling plays a little bit of,
I mean, that's just not a good lie. They already know you're going to avoid it.
Yeah, he didn't do it the first time. So, Chris, I think he's more
That would be a little bit more believable if you didn't have a crippling fear of pit road.
I think he's trying to juke us out, not the drivers out there. They know what Chris Darling's game plan is.
Chris can hear us. He's diving down there. He knows. Chris, if you can hear us, just do a little, just clean up your tires a little bit.
Oh yeah, he can hear us. He's watching us right now. He knows what we're doing. And that number 47 machine, Chris Darling's a lot of fun.
You can tell he's texting and driving based on the amount of times he's hitting the apron.
Chris, stop doing that. One of the cool things about Chris Darling, Carlos, is I've mentioned Drew Eisenman. I've mentioned Cameron Rich. I've mentioned a couple of these drivers. Steven Dosiak, he's one of those drivers who I've known for a long time. Here in sim racing. Chris Darling's another one of those. Chris Darling I've known just as long as I've known Garrett Gleason, just about, and great to see that number 47 machine out front. Can he get the job done? Well, I gotta say, he has a good shot if he does not have to come down pit road for the remaining 8 laps when we go back green here shortly, because the pace car lights are off, and that means green flag will be coming out here shortly, Carlos, and I'm excited to see these drivers end the race here at iRacing Superspeedway.
I can't wait to see what's going to happen here. I'm so excited just to see the massive level of talent and skills that these guys are going to be displaying when they're going 3 or 4 or 5 wide while they try to go for a win. And I am just excited. That's the only word I can think of at the top of my head right now. Garrett Gleason on chat saying, "Boy, I got killed." So unfortunately, not a good night for Garrett Gleason as pace car is off. Peter, we're going to go back to green with 8 laps to go.
Yeah, let's bring up that scoring pile on the left-hand side of your screen. 8 more laps, 24 miles here around iRacing Superspeedway. Chris Darling leads us back to green. And 3 Wide TV Zone, the 77 machine of Drew Eisenman there, slots in front of the 99 of Philip Scott right there in the National Ninja League Ford Mustang. But that 47 M&M Toyota Camry up at the front of the field with his teammate Carlos, the 24 Ben Mashburn right behind him. And now we got a couple of teammates up at the front of the field. They could be hard to break up here in the final 8 laps.
They could be. I'm personally in the mindset that I do not want to be the leader in the white flag, but when you got a teamer right behind you, it's probably a little bit advantage to both of you guys. So yeah, it's a little mix match cars teammates there with the Chevy and the Toyota, but that 24 doing the best he can to push that 47 into the lead and to maintain the lead as oh my goodness, that 77 Drew Eisman is trying. I'm not sure if he's not able to get back up to the 24, but now that the 24 did that, it's going to be easy sailing. But or if he was trying to leave a gap, but that 24, I don't know if he made a mistake or if that was planned or what, but that 77 is not going too wide for second place. 47 is going to start doing some Dale Jr. moves, and we're going 3 wide into second place, maybe third place is that 09 getting himself a mammoth lead, a mammoth push from the draft and going to battle for the lead right now. So 47, 09, 77. Drew Eisman starting to push to 47 as Peter, the excitement is picking up with 6 laps to go coming up.
Oh, a little bit of side drafting here. Maybe 3 wide down the front stretch for the lead. No, they think better of it as that number 77 of Drew Eisman stays behind the number 47 of Darling as they head off into the corner. But like you mentioned, that 09 of Christopher Lawrence got a huge push down the backstretch in the U.S. Army 09 and almost got to the race lead. Now Ben Mashburn has dropped back to the 6th position. Those were teammates, and here comes Eisenman, but he's going to be left out to dry by the 09 machine. Maybe not as they go off into turn number 3. Oh, Drew contact behind. I think the 10 machine has gone around. Yeah, the threat level midnight number 10 machine right there of Brett Wilson. He's already used the faster barrier here tonight. We're going to see if we can see what happened here from the blimp cam. We're going to slow this down, put it in slow motion for your fans back at home so you can see exactly what happened here, Carlos, and talk us through it.
Yeah, it looks like the 5 clipped the apron. And the suspension just locked up and moved and couldn't turn and moved this car straight up. As I don't know, that 79 got really lucky. Is that the 79 or the 19? That might be the 19. Yeah, sorry, it's a little blurry here, but that 19 may have gotten really lucky there. I don't know if we can go in his point of view. But yeah, the 5 maybe clipped the apron. There's no other reason I can see that 5 just shooting straight up into the track, into the corner. And unfortunately, caught up with the 10 hit the 79 maybe for sure, and then hit the outside wall, more than likely ending his night tonight.
Yeah, we'll go on board here with the number 19 machine of Matthew Clark. Not sure if he got any real damage from this. He might have just clipped through. You see that contact right there.
Yeah, lucky.
Yeah, I think he got extremely lucky there. You see the number 5 Ben Adams missing a front bumper after that collision as well. We'll see this from Adams' view, and I know, Carlos, you mentioned that he might have clipped the apron here going off into turn number 3. And you know what, Carlos? I don't know if he clipped the apron or whether or not... I think
got behind in the steering?
Well, I don't even know that. This racetrack, folks, I don't know. I'm sure some people in the chat might have raced this back in NASCAR Racing 2003, but we're going to slow this down. We're going to slow it down even more when we get close to the corner, Carlos, because watch what happens here when he gets... You can kind of see how the track pancakes a little bit, and it pancakes right there, and it just seems like all of a sudden the car just pushes up the racetrack. That suspension might be at full travel when that track kind of pancakes and the car kind of pancakes into the corner. And unfortunately, just washing up the racetrack a little bit and nowhere for the number 10 machine to go. The number 5 just kind of washing up the racetrack, and that number 10... some decent contact with the outside wall. We'll check in with the number 10 machine right here on the front stretch. There he is, and trying to get as much damage repaired as possible to get back out there on the racetrack. But that is Brett Wilson, currently being scored in the 12th position right now. But Carlos, we might have a green-white checker here at iRacing Superspeedway.
I think we do. We have 4 laps to go, and the pace lights are still on, Peter. So, I don't know. For an engineer, I would have thought you would have figured that out very quickly. I work in the engineering department, but I'm not actually an engineer. But there is something I do want to talk about that we can vamp until the pace car lights go off, is that it's going to be a little hard to pull up now, and I don't think you may be able to get it. But Drew Eisman, I believe, made a mistake when he was trying to push the 47 of Chris Darling. He was pushing him right on the backstretch right before the caution came out. He was right in the back bumper of the 47, pushing him. He actually got so close and started to move up a little bit to maybe like pass him like right at the last second. But while that happened, the 99 went to his inside and forced Drew Eisman to go side by side, and then ended up going on the outside line. Of course, didn't hurt him too bad because the caution came out. But I believe that would have costed Drew maybe a couple spots or two, because the 09 was on the outside line, but he was currently on the momentum where he would have lost some spots, or he was like on the recovering part of the momentum phase right before he would have picked up again. So we gotta make sure, or these drivers gotta make sure to not make mistakes like that. He left the inside open. The 99 took it. And, well, it didn't amount to anything because caution came out right away. It could have meant the difference between a win and finishing in second or third, as we got one lap to go before we go back to green for a green-white checker, Peter.
Yeah.
Peter, now remind me and the race fans, how many attempts at green-white checkers should these guys have?
Yeah, we got a couple here in the Taz Speedway series. Of course, this first one's not going to be an official green-white checker, so this one isn't going to count towards the official green-white checker tally, because it is at least what I like to call a natural green-white checker. That is just how things sort out. We are still not extending the race distance at this point. If we have another green-white checker, we will extend the race distance, and at that point it will be a overtime green-white checker. I don't know, whatever you want to call it, folks. But this one is a natural green-white checker. We'll go back green with 2 laps to go. Lap number 64 of 65 when we go green. So if we see another caution flag, Carlos, within the next lap, we will have another attempt at a green-white checker for that checkered flag. So definitely going to be interesting to see if that happens, Carlos.
Yes, and pace cars are getting ready to pull off. Peter, why don't you go ahead and lead us down for hopefully it could be the last time.
Yeah, Chris Darling down there on the inside line trying to get up through the gears. Might have had a little bit of wheel spin. The 77 of Eisenman, a great restart in that number 77 Vans machine, but can he clear Chris Darling? Doesn't look like it, and he's got no help out there on the high line for right now, but here comes the 09 of Christopher Lawrence trying to push him, but Lawrence going to duck down to the inside. Drew Eisenman, a little bit of a sitting duck, but he is able to slot down in front of that 09. Nice move there by Drew Eisenman, but Chris Darling leads. 1.5 laps to go here at iRacing Superspeedway.
The 09, pardon me, hit puberty there. The 09's pulling out on the outside line, going side by side with Drew Eisenman, going into turns 3 and 4. 09's getting a lot of momentum, but he doesn't have the help behind him, just like Drew didn't have the help on that restart. 47 and 99 looking prime to get one to go as the 77 and 09 main contact. No caution yet. No caution yet. Green flag still out. One caution's out.
Oh, and oh my goodness gracious
wow.
me.
Drew's dead. He's dead.
Drew's dead. Drew's dead. He won't be here on 3 Wide TV again. He's dead. Dead 77 machine. That's for sure. We'll see what happened here. The 09 and the 77, Carlos, like you mentioned, making contact. And, oh yeah, definite netcode between those two. And unfortunately happening at the 100% wrong time. And watch this, folks. And kaboom. And kaboom. And Drew Eisenman going flipping through the air. And the bad news, I think, for Drew Eisenman is I think that engine grenaded. He had to take a tow back to pit road. And
Go ahead and have a moment of silence for Drew. All right, that's all he deserves. Moving on.
That's it.
Yep. Big wreck involved. The 27, the 77, the 7. No, who else was involved, Peter? I couldn't quite get a good look.
I think it was the 21 machine that was involved, along with the 09. I'm not sure who else might have been involved in that one beyond the number 20 machine. Maybe the 42 of Shane Ledoux? I don't know. One other car involved. But unfortunately for Drew Eisenman, he had to take a tow back to pit road, and probably the longest tow of the field, because he was right there on the front stretch past the entrance to pit lane. So he sits motionless right there in the Vans number 77. Of course, bringing that race car to the Taz Racing Customs Superspeedway Series for the first time this year. And I know he was super excited about showing off that number 77 machine. I really love that paint scheme. Kind of very reminiscent of just a Vans shoe. just a basic Vans shoe, and I love that concept of taking a shoe and turning it into a race car, and that's what Drew Eisenman's done with that number 77. Unfortunately, it's a little bit worse. Wear right now.
Yeah. Some
Actually,
people turn shoes into drinking cups, and others turn them into race cars.
You know, it's not a pun.
I'm out.
Yeah. I have another attempt at a green-white checker. This time, an unnatural green-white checker here on 3 White TV. Chris Darling in the number 47. So far, looking good there, Carlos. I said I kind of want to be the race leader when we go and get that white flag. And Chris Darling, they're kind of showing why he was able to kind of manhandle that restart right there and was able to hold him to the race lead. Getting very close to that white flag. We didn't quite get it. And that's why we have another attempt at the green-white checker. But Chris Darling here looking pretty darn good in that M&M's Toyota.
Yeah, so here's what happened on the last restart. The 47 had his teammate there, and the 24 on the right behind him, helping him push and making sure that he had some drafting help. This time the 24 is going to be out on the outside line, and the 62 is going to be the vehicle right behind the 47 of Chris Darling, and the 62 was not in the back bumper of Drew Eisman on that restart. I believe the 62 was running in fourth on that restart, and we saw what happened there. Drew got really lucky with the 47 spun his tires, but without having the drafting help, ended up dropping back spots until he could fit in third, and then unfortunately got a little bit of some bad netcode luck there, and is essentially done for the day. He I don't think he's been involved in any other wrecks, but at this point, he has to tow. By the time he gets there, it'll probably be one lap to go, and it's not worth it.
And what's really annoying is this is a 3-mile racetrack, Carlos, so it's probably the longest tow the oval side of iRacing.
Yeah.
Sure, you can get a tow longer than that at tracks like
Nürburgring, probably.
Yeah, Nordschleife or something like that. In which case, you know what, it would just be lap. It would be a roll race, like the Super Speedway series to the Nürburgring Nordschleife. I'd love to see that. You take the series that is all about keeping your foot flat to the world's most...
Drew's in the chat.
Oh, Drew's in the chat. Cars killed.
Cars killed.
Cars killed. That's one way to put it, Drew. Cars killed. No damage, keep going. Oh, boy. That was just in 2000. Drew, here's my question for you.
Drew, hop on in here in the chat, in the Discord call.
Yeah, you can jump up here in the booth here for the call, Drew. This race or Open Speedway? Take your pick. Open Speedway back in NR 2003 days, or tonight's race here in the NSRA series. I'm sure you'll pick the NSRA series because you don't have a bunch of plebs driving out on the racetrack. But green flag here about to wave as the Ford Mustang heads down on pit road. Man, Open Speedway, that was the days. The green flag finally does wave. Chris Darling back to green flag. Ben Mashburn to his outside. And Colin Ullery, your winner from Daytona a couple weeks ago here on the channel, sitting there in third. What can Ullery do? Can he get back up to the front here, Carlos?
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but that 62 got himself a really good restart as the 24 didn't get any help and isn't able to get that third place gap as the 55 is on the inside going for sure. And wow, Chris Darling blocking on the inside, making sure nobody gets to his inside, period. It's got maybe a little bit too close there as the 55 getting some really good help there from the 19. May have a run, maybe looking on the outside but the momentum has come and gone as the 47 and 62 have it locked down pretty tight on the inside line. Getting out of the corner, 62 has a little bit of a gap. He may be looking, the 55 is looking on the outside, but the 19 is going to stay put. 1 lap to go with the 47 and the 62 pushing into turns 1 and 2.
The 99 machine of Philip Scott trying to give a bump to the number 55 of Steven Doziak, but Doziak right there not having the time of his life as he drops back through the pack. Up at the front, Chris Darling continued to hold on to the race lead. Colin Ullery right behind him, but the number 19 machine, Matthew Clark, trying to come home with a race win right there in third. We're halfway down the backstretch, just a half a lap here to go. 1.5 miles around the iRacing Superspeedway as they go off to turn number 3 and 4 for the final time, Carlos.
Yeah, 24 had a good run going to 3 and 4, but the momentum is gone as we're going to go 3 wide there for the end, maybe. Yeah, 3 wide as, I think the 62 got him. Not quite sure. Peter, what do the results say?
5/1000ths of a second, and Colin Ullery goes back to victory lane here on 3 Wide TV, the second time in the 2 Taz Racing Customs Super Speedway races that we've broadcasted here on the channel. Chris Darling coming up just 5/1000ths of a second as the bridesmaid here tonight at this racetrack.
Did I tell you, Peter? I wanted to not be in the lead and 1 lap to go. Colin Ullery. Wow. Colin was not in the lead. Pulled out a fantastic last second push as these guys did end up going 4 wide, but I'm not sure if that was after start finish line. They ended up going 3 wide for sure in the start finish line, and Colin Ullery.
Yeah.
I'm retiring.
Well, I'm retiring too because you said I wrong. So I think
You were wrong, yes.
I think we're both.
This is the last broadcast
yep,
ever.
that's it. The channel's done, folks. See you guys later. The 62 of Ullery, the last person to win on the channel, as he does burnouts here on the front stretch. Get all of the burnouts that you can get. All the donuts.
The kazoo. People are asking for the kazoo.
Oh, people are asking for the kazoo. Well, I'm gonna have to bring that up. You're gonna see the media player. Though it's gone.
Oh, the engine just blew on the 62.
Oh, there we go. I got the kazoo out, folks. Let me not blast it because I've done that before and I've woken up. There we go. How about that? Hopefully that wasn't too loud. Hopefully I didn't wake up the whole family. But the 62, Colin Ullery getting to go to victory lane here on 3 Wide TV. And Carlos, what a finish. 5/1000ths of a second.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. That was a good finish. That's going to keep me up all night.
I hope it doesn't keep you. Hopefully you get some sleep. Sleep is a good thing. But let's go back and watch this replay. Ullery here coming out of turn number 4. He was right there where you said, Carlos. You wanted him to be in second. He jumps to the top side all by himself. That's the most impressive thing. He didn't have a lot of help from behind and just was able to pip the number 47 M&M's machine of Chris Darling right there at the stripe. Very, very impressive. We'll go on board with that race car as well, just to get one more look at this. He leaves it late, Carlos. Stays behind Darling. I thought Darling had it at this point. He jumps up to the top side, got a huge run coming out of the corner, and just able to get to the start-finish line first. Very, very impressive. Ullery going back to victory lane for the second time this season in the Taz Racing Customs Super Speedway Series. Folks, we're going to step away for just a brief moment here on the channel, and we will be right back. We'll line up those interviews for you. All right, folks, welcome back to 3Y TV. We got those post-race interviews lined up for you, starting with the number 19 machine of Matt Clark. And Matt, Peter Short, 3Y TV booth, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Well, I'll tell you what, that number 19, you were a little bit quiet there in the first half of the race, but you really showed up there in the second half of the race, up there at the front of the field, and a really great-looking race car. You got someone's face on the hood, so I'm really curious to know what that's all about. But first off, tell us about your race.
Well, this is my first race here, so I really just wanted to race clean and show these guys that, you know, I can race hard, but I can race clean with everyone. So that's why I really, you know, the whole goal was to stay quiet that first half of the race, really get a feel for the drivers, get a feel for the track, and then slowly but surely just work our way up. And, you know, I'm happy to get third. That's pretty cool.
Well, you know, this iRacing Superspeedway, it's one of those racetracks that goes all the way back to the NASCAR Racing 2003 days. It was formerly known as the Coca-Cola Superspeedway. Have you raced here on this racetrack before tonight?
Yeah, I've raced a little bit. And then, you know, that NASCAR Racing 2003, and I played that video game for 15 some years. So, you know, even though the Coca-Cola Speedway to iRacing Speedway is a little different, the transition, but, you know, it still helped me out a little bit.
Yeah, definitely really cool to have iRacing over here, bringing this racetrack once again to life, the fictitious iRacing Superspeedway. In fact, by my count, the only fake track in iRacing, the only fictitious racetrack in the entire service. And definitely great to have the race cars out there here tonight. What were your thoughts about going unrestricted here and 240 miles an hour plus?
Oh, just fun as can be, man. This is one of my favorite tracks. I mean, you're just going all out, and you can get huge runs. You can go 4 or 5 wide if you want to. It's just, it is so much fun.
Yeah, we up here in the booth kind of gave a challenge to the drivers. We didn't see it happen here tonight, but we said we want to see 6 wide here at this racetrack because we definitely think it was doable. And hopefully all the drivers here tonight had a lot of fun, Matthew. But definitely great to have you here in the league. I'm sure a lot of people are wondering what brought you to the National Sim Racing Association.
Well, I've raced a couple other leagues. And I'm kind of known as a super speedway ringer. I've won a lot of super speedway races, and never in a mile and a half, never a short track. So I wanted to really to find a league that was going to test me on my super speedway skills, and I think I've definitely found that league.
Well, that is definitely awesome to see that you seem to have found your new home here in the National Sim Racing Association. Of course, 1 week from now, we go to Michigan International Speedway, where we're running 78% horsepower. That's right, a reduced horsepower package to kind of bunch everyone up. But we go from the 3-mile iRacing Superspeedway to the 2-mile Michigan. What do you expect to see at Michigan International Speedway with that reduced horsepower package?
Well, we definitely should see those packs form. You know, Michigan, you know, definitely once your tires get worn out, you're really having to get off throttle and just having more off throttle time than any other super speedway. But man, with that reduced horsepower, that off throttle time may not even be there. It may be just like every other super speedway. So that's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting and nice, good wide track, kind of like iRacing Superspeedway, so should be fun to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Should be a fun one next week in the Taz Racing Customs Superspeedway series. Before we let you go, any shout outs there, Matt?
Hey, you know, thanks to you. I've just now got on the broadcast. Seems like an awesome broadcast. I'm super excited to watch it. So thank you for doing the broadcast, and thanks for the guys to let me in this league. Just some really outstanding people, it seems like, and I'm excited to be here.
All right. Well, Matthew, great to have you here, not only on 3Wide TV, but in the National Sim Racing Association, Taz Racing Customs Superspeedway Series. Best of luck next week at Michigan.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
All right. Well, folks, that's going to be it for your third place finisher here tonight, Matthew Clark, in that number 19 machine. Like he said, a quiet night. But that is what he set out to do, finishing up on the podium as well. Always good when you have that quiet night and you're able to talk right there at the end, because not all too many people get to talk up here on 3Wide TV at the booth at the end of the race. Only the top three, and I believe that Carlos Acosta has caught up with our second place finisher, the number 47 machine of Chris Darling. Well, I thought Carlos Acosta had caught up with the 47 of Chris Darling.
Shout out to my mic being muted. How you doing, Chris?
F in the
Chris,
chat.
you're finishing. Am I here? You still got me?
No, yeah, we got you. F in the chat, though, for your muted mic.
Yeah, I muted myself so that you guys wouldn't hear me typing. I just sent a message.
Who hired
Chris?
this guy?
Yeah, you ended up finishing second. Where's my money, man?
Money.
Yeah, anyway, you ended up leading 18 laps, the second most of the night, but unfortunately, a last-second pullout by Colin. A last-second... Colin ended up passing you right at the end, and just so close, like under 5 thousandths of a second, I believe, Peter. I don't know if we can back that up, but
Yeah.
just it's a heartbreaking feeling. I know that feeling, but just... How was your night overall with this vehicle? And pit stops aside, just tell us how the race went.
Honestly, it was really fun. I had a good time out there. There was huge runs in these cars. It was kind of crazy. We've ran a couple like fun races here, but we haven't really done any points racing, so that was kind of different. Colin kind of said he was going to take care of me there, but I kind of thought it would have been kind of crazy not to pull out and try to win that. So I mean, it's tough. It's tough to lose that way, but it was a lot of fun.
Definitely, that's a good attitude to have there, Chris. Fantastic race overall. You definitely showed that you had the skills to win tonight and to be a constant force to look out for in this season. But yeah, moving on, we got the next race coming up soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be broadcasted yet, but what are your thoughts on the next race?
I'm looking forward to it. You know what? I really enjoy super speedways. I know I don't always finish great, and I always sort of do myself in usually, but I don't know. I'm looking forward to the whole season. I enjoy it. It's really just a way for me to have some fun, and still race for something, and be competitive at times.
Yes, I agree. But yeah, moving on, we're gonna be just asking you if you have any shout outs you want to go ahead and give out to all the people watching and tuning in. What do you have to say you're thankful for?
I just want to give a big thanks to Taz Racing Customs for throwing up a prize for the series. I want to thank you guys. It's been kind of touch and go on the broadcast, but we're slowly figuring it out. I appreciate everything you guys do. You guys do a great job. I just want to thank everybody that really races with us every week. It's been pretty enjoyable.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we have a fun time doing these races.
I wasn't thinking you, Carlos. That's because you were picking on me. I was just
Oof.
That's okay.
Nice.
It's okay.
No, that's not nice.
Yeah, pick on the creator of 3Wide TV. See what that leads to.
That's okay. You love me. That's one way to shut me up. Damn.
Yeah. Just joshing. I had a great time. Thank you for inviting me. Thank you for allowing me to kind of warm up and practice commentating. It's not really something I'm not too good at, but I'm having some fun with it, letting myself just relax, not giving myself any limits. And it's, I'm only as good as the show you guys put on week in and week out. And it's fantastic. And I can't wait to see what you guys can do from now on. But yeah, congratulations finishing second. Definitely not where you wanted to end up. You wanted to win for sure. But if only the track was just a little bit smaller. But anyway, moving on.
I'm going to petition to get the start-finish line moved back about 300 feet. I think that would have done it for me. But no, seriously, guys, I think you guys do a great job. Anytime I'm looking for broadcasters, I'm coming to you guys. You guys know that. So just keep up good work. Keep having fun with it. And hopefully we'll get more races.
Yeah. All right, thank you so much, Chris. Hope you have a fantastic night. Enjoy that second place finish.
And I know, Carlos, we were talking there during that brief break before those
Oh no,
interviews.
I forgot the M&M's joke that we were talking about. One commercial.
Yeah, you know what? M&Ms, they're all going to be half price on Monday. So, folks, if
Yeah,
you're
all
in,
the chocolate's gonna be half price. Yeah.
that's the best time to buy chocolate, right? I mean, everyone in the chat can agree. You wait for a holiday. The day after the holiday, you go to Walmart. You go to whatever grocery store, Kroger, Publix, whatever you have in your area. You buy up all the chocolate. That's just what you do. That's the American thing to do. Of course, M&M's sponsor 47 machine. But let's see if we can dial up tonight's winner for the second time this season. 3-Wide TV, Colin O'Leary in the 62. And Colin, I bet you're going to start paying for the 3-Wide TV broadcasts every week because you're 2 for 2 here in the Taz Racing Customs Superspeedway series here on the channel. Tell us about your night.
It was just great all around. I got pole position once again, and it just went from there. I stayed out of all the wrecks, keeping the 0x, and it was just an amazing night. We're just constantly fast. I don't know what it is, but we're just having great finishes in the 62 car right now.
Yeah, the question was, of course, was that last restart right there in the green-white checker. Was that your game plan to kind of leave it to the very last second to jump out? Did you think about going a little bit sooner? Because, coming out of turn number 4, I thought Chris Darling had the checkered flag in hand.
I mean, honestly, I was planning on pushing Chris to the end there, but I got a run on him, and to give the fans a good finish, I decided to take it, and just got the win.
All right, folks, if you're here in the chat and you're a driver or you're watching this on the VOD, don't trust the number 62 machine.
It's good. It's a good thing to start with.
Yeah, don't trust this guy to push you to the win. But I gotta say, man, congratulations here again, getting the win at iRacing Superspeedway. What are your thoughts about this racetrack? This is a unique one.
Honestly, I love the fact that we can go 250 miles an hour in the draft. It's a lot of fun, and it takes constant concentration. Like it's just a mix of so many different tracks. It's a lot of fun. But if you touch that yellow line, it's just death, really, because it just flies up the track and you hit someone. So you gotta be very careful.
Yeah, that is for sure. We saw that a couple times here tonight, but 240 miles an hour plus here tonight. Probably not going to hit that next week at Michigan International Speedway. 78% horsepower next week. We're going to rein in these cup cars. What are your thoughts about going to Michigan?
I like that. I like the reduced horsepower at Michigan. I've ran it a few times. It's a lot of fun. It's pretty much wide open until the last few laps of the stint. But it's a lot of fun. You get a great group of people. You can be 3-4 wide at times. Because I know we've done that in the past and came out clean with no wrecks. So it should be a great show. Yeah,
definitely going to be a fun one. We'll have to wait and see whether or not we have that one here on 3-Wide TV for all of you fans in the chat. Hopefully we do. But Colin, you know the drill. I know you've watched 3-Wide TV enough to know that the last question that we ask is always shout out. So let's hear them.
I got to give shout out to everyone in the league and to Chris being such a sport about what I did to him. You guys putting on the broadcast into Revolution Motorsports because they're a great group of guys. This whole league's a great group of guys. It's just a lot of fun to be here every Thursday and Friday.
Well, folks, if you're in the chat right now and thinking about joining the National Sim Racing Association, or whether you're watching this race on VOD or something like that, Colin O'Leary just put it right there. It's a lot of fun to be with these group of drivers, and I'm sure you want to be out here on the racetrack as well, so make sure you check out the National Sim Racing Association. But Colin, thanks for dropping by here. Congratulations on the win. Second time this season in the Taz Racing Customs Superspeedway Series that you're in victory lane. So big shout out to you for that, and hope to see you again here on the channel very, very soon.
Yeah, I hope to see you guys very soon too.
All right, well, that's going to do it for tonight's race winner, Colin O'Leary, in the number 60 machine. Carlos, and I think it's time for us to go through tonight's finishing results.
Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic results This was a fantastic finish that we all just saw there at the end. But yeah, pulling up the results, we got Colin Ullery winning tonight's race with Andrew Himmelman in second place. Jay Adams, who actually shows up as Matthew Clark here. I apologize if I'm calling him correctly this whole time. Finishing in third with Chris Darling in fourth. I'm looking at the wrong results. I apologize. These are the qualifying results. Let me try that again. Let me look at the race feed. Colin Early in first, Chris Darling in second, Matthew Clark in third, Ben Matchburn in fourth, Philip Scott in fifth, Stephen Dosiak Jr. in sixth, with Jay Mitchell Adams in seventh. Brian Bradley finishes in eighth with Barry Knapp. Sorry, I apologize.
Barry
in ninth, and Brett Wilson in 10th. It's just my eyes are so bad from a distance. It looked like Barty.
Barty in the 18 machine. Barry, it's been a long night here at iRacing Superspeedway. I mean, it wasn't a long night, all things considered, but 240 miles an hour will do that to you here on the channel. Evan Burt coming home in 11th, Christopher Lawrence there in 12th, Ben Adams coming home 13th. A lot of these cars went through both of their fast repairs here tonight. Drew Eisenman, who was up there in the top 5 for 95% of the race, but unfortunately being involved in that late race incident, 5 laps down. Shane Ledoux in the number 12 machine, they're finishing 15th. Andrew Himmelman 16th. Garrett Gleason in 17th. Jeffrey Vickery, the winner from last week, finishing in 18th. The winner at Talladega, Nicholas Bradley 19th, and Evan Gilbert rounding out your 20-car field here, Carlos. But I gotta say, it was a lot of fun here, and it was fun all the way to that start-finish line that you see right there with that last-minute pass, 5 1,000ths of a second. Definitely one of the closest finishes we've seen here on the channel.
I agree. Definitely one of my top 10 finishes of all time in 3Y TV. I had a blast, and I can't wait to see what these guys can do. If it's anything like today, it'll be something that everybody has to tune in every Thursday.
Absolutely. Well, folks, we want to thank you for joining us here on 3Y TV. We also want to thank all the sponsors of the National Sim Racing Association, SIMBOX, of course, also SimShots, the fantastic folks over at Sim Racing Shirts, and many of the other people who make this league possible, including Stay Tuned Sports, who will be sponsoring the Truck Series next season. A great group of people. We want to give them a huge shout out, and our friends, of course, over at Sim TV for the camera angles that we bring you each and every week on the channel. A great group of people. Make sure you give them a like and a follow. But Carlos, hopefully we be back here on the channel again soon, broadcasting Thursday nights. But folks, I think that's going to do it for us here tonight. So make sure to give a thumbs up to the video, and we hope to see you again. Of course, no SimBox Truck Series tomorrow night here on 3Y TV. Don't tune in. They have an off week for Valentine's weekend, so don't be here. If you are here, you won't see any racing. It will be next week when we're back here with the SimBox Truck Series. So make sure you keep that in mind with the National Sim Racing Association. But for myself, Peter Short, Carlos Acosta, have a good night, stay safe, and we shall see ya!